Ever imagine yourself in like a high-tech control room, right? But instead of spaceships, you're managing the flow of oil and gas, the stuff that powers our world.
Yeah, it's a lot more technical than people might think.
Yeah.
We're talking about serious systems, mechanics, pressure dynamics, even software.
You've definitely piqued my curiosity. So we're diving into all of your research on, what is it? Petroleum Pump System Operators, right?
That's right.
And we also have some info on this RoleCatcher platform that seems to be pretty interesting, especially for job seekers. But before we get into all that, for those of us who haven't actually been on an oil rig, what does a petroleum pump system operator actually do all day?
So imagine this massive network of pipelines, right? And it's all moving oil and gas silently
Mm,
across like huge distances.
okay.
The pump system operator, they're like the maestro of this whole operation,
I like that.
making sure everything's flowing smoothly and nothing gets backed up. They're monitoring pressure gauges, troubleshooting any little hiccups, basically orchestrating this movement of resources from a central control room.
Okay, maestro of the pipeline. I'm going to use that. But
Yeah.
this orchestra, it doesn't exactly take breaks, does it? I mean, we're talking 24/7, right? And our sources mentioned some pretty demanding schedules, round-the-clock shifts. So how does that balance out? High salary, but kind of intense work conditions.
Yeah, it's not your typical 9 to 5, that's for sure. Long hours, sometimes you're in pretty remote locations and you always have to be ready for an emergency. But that demanding schedule usually comes with a pretty competitive salary, because it's such a crucial role.
Makes sense. Got to keep the lights on, right?
Exactly.
But I have to admit, those long hours, maybe being far away from everything, it's not going to be for everybody.
No, definitely not for everyone. It takes a special kind of person, someone who can handle pressure, loves a good challenge, and doesn't mind, a little bit of solitude out there on the...
Out on the oil fields.
Yeah, exactly.
So how does someone even get started in a career like this? Is it like an apprenticeship, learning from someone who's been doing it forever?
It's very much a step-by-step process. You usually start in an entry-level position, working right alongside those experienced operators, learning the ropes.
Soaking it all up.
Exactly. Assisting with the monitoring, routine checks, really getting those safety procedures down pat.
Like a petroleum pump system operator 101 kind of deal?
Yeah, exactly. And as you gain experience, as you prove yourself, you move on to more independent roles, taking on more responsibility for the pump systems, troubleshooting those tougher problems, and then, who knows, maybe even supervising others someday.
Okay, so you've put in the time, you've honed your skills, you've probably become a pro at making coffee at 3 in the morning.
Right.
What do those like senior level positions actually look like in this field?
Well, there are a few different paths you can take. You might move into more of a supervisory role where you're leading a whole team of operators, or you could specialize in something like maintenance, where you're developing those strategies to keep all those pumps running smoothly.
Okay.
Some people even transition into more of an analytical role. They use their deep knowledge of the systems to optimize performance and efficiency.
So it's not just about turning dials, there's like real opportunity for leadership and making big decisions.
Oh, absolutely. As you climb that ladder, the focus shifts from those day-to-day tasks to more big picture thinking.
Right.
Collaborating with engineers on system design, maybe working with management to implement new technologies, or even training that next generation of operators.
I'm already really impressed with how much expertise and responsibility this job involves. It's not just a job, it's a whole career path. But let's get into the nitty-gritty here. We have these real-life profiles from people actually doing this job, petroleum pump system operators at different stages of their careers. What's the reality, the highs and lows, the things that they don't put in those job descriptions?
And that's where these profiles are so valuable, I think. They give you a real glimpse into the daily routines, the challenges, and even those unexpected rewards that come with this kind of work.
For example, we have one here from, let's see, it's a junior petroleum pump system operator. And they said, I've gained the experience to independently operate and monitor pump systems, proving my ability to conduct regular inspections and preventive maintenance. That's a mouthful. But they also said, it's rewarding to see my work directly impacting the smooth functioning of the equipment.
It seems like you get a lot of ownership from day one.
Oh, absolutely. You're not just following orders. You're a vital part of this whole system. And then we have another one here. Let me see. Okay, this is from an intermediate petroleum pump system operator. And they mention, I've developed advanced troubleshooting skills, becoming the go-to person for resolving tricky equipment issues. Sounds like being good at problem solving is a big part of enjoying this job.
Yeah, it's like a puzzle, but with much higher stakes. Every day brings new challenges, and you need to think quickly, understand those systems inside and out.
But with all those challenging puzzles, there's got to be stress too, right? I mean, you're dealing with these high-pressure systems, potentially hazardous materials.
That's where experience comes in and training, of course. You need a cool head. And, one of the senior petroleum pump system operators, he emphasized this. He said something like, developing and implementing maintenance strategies to ensure optimal performance and safety. That's crucial.
So it's all about minimizing those risks and following those safety protocols really, really carefully. It sounds like a career that demands a lot, but it also gives a lot back.
Yeah.
That sense of purpose, always learning something new, and the satisfaction of keeping such vital systems up and running.
Absolutely. It really is a fine line, between keeping everything running smoothly and making sure it's all safe.
Right, absolutely.
And these operators, they're walking that line every single day.
So we've talked about the responsibility, the pressure, all of that, but
Yeah.
what about job security? Because we hear so much about automation these days. So is this a career path with a future, or are robots going to be running those high-tech control rooms?
It's a question a lot of people are asking, and for good reason.
Yeah.
The industry's changing, that's for sure.
Right.
But here's the thing about automation. Yeah, it's definitely increasing, especially in refineries.
Okay.
But you still need a human touch to make sure it all works the way it's supposed to.
So it's not really robots versus humans. It's more like they have to work together.
That's exactly it. Think of it like an airplane. You can have the most advanced autopilot in the world, but you still want a pilot in that cockpit.
Right. That makes sense.
Same principle here. Those automated systems, they're great at routine stuff,
Yeah.
but they can't replace human judgment. That ability to solve a problem on the fly, adapt to unexpected situations. A human operator, they bring that to the table.
Especially when you think about what could happen if something goes wrong.
Exactly.
We're not talking about some software glitch here. This
Yeah.
is the entire energy infrastructure.
You got it. And that's exactly why those petroleum pump system operators, their skills are going to be in demand for a long time. If anything, they might even become more important as all these systems get more complex, more interconnected.
So there's job security there. This isn't just a job for now, it's a career.
That's right.
But let's switch gears a little bit, if you don't mind, because you mentioned this platform, RoleCatcher, and it seems like it could be a game changer, especially in a field like this one.
I think so, yeah. What I found really interesting is how they're using AI to, level the playing field for anyone looking for a job. You know how frustrating it can be sending out resumes and it's like they just disappear into a void.
Well, tell me about it. Like, what are they even looking for?
Exactly. So RoleCatcher, they're trying to change that. One of their main features is this AI-powered CV and resume builder. It looks at job descriptions, figures out the important keywords, and helps you tailor your application.
So instead of me spending hours trying to figure out what they want, this AI does it for me.
Exactly. No more guessing games. It makes sure your skills and your experience, they stand out, but they also match what that specific employer is looking for.
Okay, that sounds almost too good to be true. But what about the interview? That's always the nerve-wracking part. And even with a great resume, a bad interview can ruin your chances.
That's true, but guess what? RoleCatcher has something for that too. They have this AI-powered interview practice.
Really?
You answer common interview questions for your field, and you get feedback on how you did, like how you deliver your answers, the content, all of it.
Hold on, so there's an AI that can actually help you get ready for an interview, like a career coach, but digital.
Pretty much. It's not about replacing that human connection, but it's about giving you the tools to be your best. The AI can analyze how you're responding, point out what you can improve, even suggest different ways to talk about your skills and experience.
That's actually really impressive. I can definitely see how that would be helpful, especially for someone who gets nervous in interviews.
Right.
But I have to ask, is the feedback actually useful? Or is this just a gimmick? Can a machine really understand all those little nuances of how we communicate?
I had the same thought, to be honest. But the more I learned about how they do it, the more impressed I was. They don't just throw random questions at you. They have a whole database of questions that are specific to your industry. And the AI, it's trained on tons of successful interview responses. So it's picking up on what works.
So it's like having access to all these people who've aced interview after interview in your field.
Yeah, kind of like having a secret weapon.
Mm.
It gives you an edge.
Mm.
And let's face it, the job market is competitive these days.
For sure. I'm starting to see why you were so interested in this RoleCatcher thing. It's not just a job board, it's like a whole toolkit.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so relevant to what we're talking about with these petroleum pump system operators. This field is changing so fast, new technologies all the time.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher can help people stay ahead of the curve, give them the resources and guidance they need.
Like a personalized roadmap for success.
Exactly.
Like RoleCatcher is giving you a sneak peek into the future of how we hire people.
And speaking of the future, we can't forget about all those new technologies that are changing how this job is done, right?
Right.
What's coming next for these petroleum pump system operators?
Well, we talked about automation, but what about renewable energy? If we're all about solar panels and wind turbines, do we even need these pump systems anymore?
That's the big question, right? Things are definitely changing, but even with all the talk about cleaner energy, oil and gas are going to be around for a while, at least for the foreseeable future.
Okay.
And as long as we're still extracting those resources, transporting them, you need people to manage those systems.
So it's not so much about where the energy comes from, but how it gets to where it needs to go.
Exactly. And that's where it gets really interesting. We're seeing this blend of traditional energy stuff with like cutting edge technology. Imagine remote sensors that let operators monitor these huge pipeline networks from miles away, or using AI to predict problems before they even happen. That's predictive maintenance.
Wow. So instead of waiting for an alarm to go off, they'll know something's wrong before it even does. Sounds kind of futuristic.
It does, right.
Ugh.
But it's closer than you think. This technology is being developed right now as we speak. So if you're thinking about a career as a petroleum pump system operator, you got to be ready to learn new things constantly. Adaptation is key.
It's not just about knowing the tech today, it's about being ready for whatever comes next.
Exactly. The best operators, they'll be the ones who can use these new tools, who want to expand their skills, and who can really think critically about how technology can make things safer, more efficient, more sustainable.
So many possibilities. Okay, so to wrap things up, what are the key takeaways for our listeners, especially those who might be considering this career?
Well, first things first, you got to understand what you're getting into. This job isn't for everyone. It takes a certain kind of person, someone who's good with their hands, good with technology, good under pressure, and who doesn't mind working in some tough conditions.
Right, out in the elements sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you like a challenge, if you get satisfaction out of keeping these crucial systems running, if you're excited about the future of energy, then this could be a really good fit.
And if you're ready to take that leap, platforms like RoleCatcher can give you that extra boost. The tools, the resources, the interview prep, everything you need to land that dream job.
Don't be afraid to dive in. The energy industry is changing rapidly, and it's those who are adaptable, who are eager to learn,
Mhm.
who are going to shape what it looks like down the road.
This has been a fascinating deep dive. We've learned that being a petroleum pump system operator is about so much more than just, turning valves. It's a career with challenges, but it also comes with a huge sense of purpose, constant learning, and the chance to play a vital role in how our world functions.
Absolutely. And as technology changes, as the energy landscape shifts, the skills that these operators bring to the table, they're only going to become more and more valuable.
So if you're up for the challenge, if you're ready to be at the forefront of innovation, this could be the perfect path for you. We hope this deep dive has given you a glimpse into this world, the world of a petroleum pump system operator. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and remember, the future belongs to those who dive deep.